Hey guys, so I'm back with some more vinyl. Almost done. Probably have only one more video after this. At least for my standard 12 inches, then I'll go to my box sets and I'll go to 10 inches, 7 inches CDs, etc. But let's get into it. So to start off with, we're getting into my U2 collection. I only got a couple U2 albums on vinyl. I got a lot more on CD, but this is the Unforgettable Fire. For me, this is pretty much pure relaxation. For me, it's like the most relaxing album that I own, but custom sleeve. It's black vinyl. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, for those who don't know, this is Sloan Castle, and that's where they record this album. I believe they've also done some performances there. It'd be a cool place to visit eventually. I believe it's in Ireland. Next up, we have U2's Joshua Tree. I always like to eventually visit Joshua Tree National Park in California. This is a pretty solid album. Song, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Holds some special meaning to me. When I was a kid, my dad was a trucker. And I went on a, localized trucker. Didn't travel, insanely far away. But, I'd go on delivery routes with him a lot. And one of the songs that came on the radio a lot was I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. And yeah, that's just, always reminded me of those times. Thomas is here being all disruptive, so bear with me. And it does, if I can get it out, have a lyric insert that I believe, yeah, it opens up. So you have kind of like a poster on the other side of it. Hey, Thomas, get off of that. And now from U2, we're going to my Velvet Underground collection. So first up, we have the Velvet Underground and Nico. I know there's an alternate version where like the banana's a sticker and you can peel it off and have the peeled banana underneath it. I kind of like to get that in addition to this record, but this is a fantastic classic record. It's a must-have. I'm normally not a big fan of older records being on colored vinyl, but for these two Velvet Underground albums I'm going to show you, it actually works pretty well. I think mainly just because they went with flat, simple colors that, kind of match the covers pretty well. So, nice Verve Records label in the middle, so that's pretty cool. And next up we have White Light, White Heat. I see a very subtle tattoo design on the black there. This one's a lot more noisier and experimental than Velvet Underground and Nico. But this one's on white vinyl. Most of the time I buy colored vinyl, I realize it as I'm getting it, but I didn't even realize this was colored vinyl when I got it, so that was a pretty fun discovery. But another solid record from Velvet Underground. Next we have from Weather Report, Heavy Weather. Nice jazz fusion, kind of funky album. Jacob Pastorius, or Pastorius, I think is how it's actually pronounced. Very legendary bassist in the jazz fusion scene. Got that nice Columbia Records label there. Yeah, back when I was in college, I was in the jazz band. We played a good amount of Weather Report. In fact, one of the songs, Birdland, that was a song we played a lot. now. My only Weezer album, on vinyl at least. Got the first album there is Blue, self-titled. Because they've released so many self-titled albums, they're just referred to by the color. Saw a joke about how like Weezer went to a paint shop and got inspiration for their next 3,000 albums. And we got to insert a lot of really interesting gear that they have here, because that appears to be a bass amplifier that guitar is resting on, which to me implies that guitar was being played through that bass amplifier. Very interesting. You got an SG with some single coil pickups, which is kind of an oddball thing to put on an SG. Got some humbuckers on Stratocaster, which isn't as quite odd, but still not the most conventional thing. That's probably a lot of guitar stuff that most, non-guitar playing people don't really understand, but that type of stuff intrigues me. And Weezer obviously only released 2 particularly good albums, but I have the other one on CD. Next, at least closing out for this video, we're going to be going through some of my John Williams collection. So, start off, we have the ever classic Jaws is a Mondo album. So we got this outer strip. Look at the gatefold. It's a double vinyl, I believe is, yeah, it's a 45 RPM vinyl too, though, so could have probably potentially have been a single vinyl, but I don't mind. Things sound better in 45 RPM. Second record. Is a booklet or is it, yeah, triple panel insert with, a lot of essays and stuff. Alright, next we're getting into some Star Wars. I actually have a lot more Star Wars than this, some, I got some 10 inches and 7 inches. I have a, deluxe edition set. And I have a lot of CDs too. For the original trilogy, particularly like Return of the Jedi on CD more than vinyl, because Return of the Jedi actually had the most music of, at least at that time, all the Star Wars movies. Up to the prequels. I don't know if that's still the case with the sequel trilogy, but yeah, for some reason it was just released as a single LP, so I never even bothered picking up, but I do have it on CD. Got the special edition of A New Hope, so I'll get to that later, but for the original trilogy, all that I have in standard 12 inches, Empire Strikes Back. Obviously an older record, so you see a lot of the wear on it, but it's a classic nonetheless. You gotta be really careful because it has this sort of insert booklet, but like I said, it's old. It's not holding up too well, but I'm not gonna hold it at a straight angle because that's just gonna be a little bit too much strain on it, I think. But you can kind of see a little bit of it. And if I can get it out, it's on black vinyl. A lot of these older Star Wars records are released on RSO records. Not sure if they're around anymore because all the RSO record stuff that I get is always older stuff. And the other Star Wars vinyl that I have is The Force Awakens. Really cool kind of foil packaging. This is probably actually my favorite of the soundtracks. Not really sure why specifically, but you know, listening through all of them, it's just the one that I find the most enjoyable. So this is a really cool vinyl that I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. You can kind of see it, but it has like these 3D holograms on it. So like when it's spinning, you can shine an LED light and it'll have like a 3D image that's spinning around. So there's like the Millennium Falcon. You can kind of make it out a little bit. And here's the second record. This one has a TIE fighter. So yeah, really cool feature. I think I have one other, that special edition of A New Hope that I have. I think that one also has that feature. I don't know if that's ever been done on any other vinyl Star Wars or not, but it does have a cool booklet in it. You know, credits and essays and whatnot. Pictures from the movie. Yeah, after The Force Awakens, I actually kind of stopped actively collecting Star Wars soundtracks. I mean, I don't know, I guess Last Jedi just kind of didn't really get me all that excited to the point I didn't really feel the need to pick up the soundtrack for it with it, and never got around to picking up Rise of Skywalker, even though I enjoy that one considerably more than Last Jedi. I'm sure I'll eventually get around to it. I never picked up the soundtracks for Rogue One or Solo or anything else. Well, I've been picking up the Mandalorian soundtracks. So yeah, I'll probably eventually get around to getting those, but that's all that I have for now in the standard 12-inch section of my collection. Like I said, there will be more coming. So yeah, that's all that I have for today. I'll see you next week with the last of 12-inch vinyls. And then we'll move on to other things.